What's up, guys? Nick Roberts here, and I'm back for another week, another movie. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was down in Florida at Universal Studios, um, so surrounded by the movies, especially during Halloween Horror Nights. I feel like that was kind of like research for this, but I'm back. So, talking about the movie that this week, kind of I have to tie it back to an author who I became acquainted with kind of early in my author career. I was at an event called AuthorCon in Williamsburg, Virginia. And this author is Adam Cesare. He had a book called Clown in a Cornfield. He had a couple of other ones. But I saw the blurb or on the cover of Clown in a Cornfield, and it was by Clive Barker, and it says, "An author who knows how to make us afraid." And this is the original cover for Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare, the um, YA Bram Stoker Award-winning novel. And when I saw that quote, I was blown away because that's like for a horror writer, getting a blurb by Barker or King is like the mecca. I mean, that's the greatest. So I was super impressed that he was able to do that. And there are a few authors that I try to model my career goals after, and Adam is certainly one of them because, like Adam and the movie I'm going to talk about today, I am a big movie lover. Or obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't. Stephen Graham Jones, big movie lover. Adam Cesare is also a massive film buff. So I sort of gravitate toward those types of writers and authors. So if you haven't, before I talk about the movie, if you haven't read the books, obviously Clown in a Cornfield is essential horror reading for anyone. Don't be thrown off that it's labeled as YA. Technically it is, but it will provide you with more insight into the horrors that young adults go through than most films made and most books written with protagonists in that age range. Adam is or was a teacher. I was a teacher. It's evident in his writing and how he depicts teens and their fears, and that he has experience with teens in the classroom. And I know this because when I was teaching, we'd have active shooter drills. Uh, you'd see school shootings on the news. You'd see just the most terrible, unimaginable things that you can think of happening in the world. Kids are seeing that and they're hearing about it and they're getting it fed through TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and their fears aren't necessarily masked monsters wielding machetes and chainsaws. It might be a clown with a crossbow or an assault rifle. And there's a reason for that choice of weapon. And yeah, we'll get into that in just a second. But get Clown in a Cornfield, followed up. Well, you'll get to Clown in a Cornfield 3, so I'll just go over here and I'll say, follow it up with Clown in a Cornfield 2, Frendo Lives. I think this is my favorite of the trilogy so far. I don't know why sequels in a trilogy normally are traditionally are like the rough patch, but I think Adam just like nailed it with that sequel. The third sequel, and I should stop saying trilogy because he has written a fourth one. Clown in a Cornfield 3, The Church of Frendo. And this just won another YA Bram Stoker Award. So congrats to Adam on all his literary success. And he just wrote the novelization for the new film, The Toxic Avenger remake or reboot or whatever. So I know he loves that movie. So all good things for Adam. He's a good guy, and it's great to see all these milestones that he's reaching because, like I said, I'm aiming for that. I want to aspire to be at that point at some time in my career. So let's talk about the movie that I just got in the mail today. I'm not talking, I did see it in theaters and I loved it, and did a little kind of reaction video of it on TikTok probably. But I just got this in the mail and I pre-ordered this as soon as I saw it was available. It's The Clown in a Cornfield, the 4K SteelBook edition. I didn't immediately jump on the standard 4K. I waited for this one because even on Adam's Instagram, he said, wait for the one that's about to come out because it's got some really cool stuff in it. So, gorgeous SteelBook. Well, let's take a peek inside. All right, so we open it up, and you see, I think we've got, the 4K there, and we have, I'm guessing that's the Blu-ray, and then check this little guy out. Our little friendo, a little magnet. Can do all kinds of fun things with that. And then there's a little ad for Adam's books and the novelization, or not novelization, the movie tie-in version down there at the bottom. Also a cool cover. Then check that out. It's pretty sweet. Frendo in all his glory. So yeah, I'm glad that I held out and got this one, because it has commentary by director Eli Craig. Eli Craig, if you're not familiar with him, directed one of the seminal horror comedies, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And then Clown in a Cornfield, author Adam Cesare, Carson McCormack, and Katie Douglas. So yeah, that's cool. They're on that commentary track too. I did not know that. So I'm going to listen to that just to hear what Adam thinks going through the film. Okay, so this is kind of ties into what I want to talk about. On this little insert that was on the back, the blurb, you see violent slasher romp. That's what they sold the film as. That's sort of what the book title, Clown in a Cornfield, is advertising. Yes, you do get clowns in a cornfield killing people. Yes, it is violent. Yes, it is a romp, but that's how you get the people in the seats. And then you can hit them with the heavy stuff, the traumatizing stuff, the stuff that when the audience gets up and leaves, that they continue to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and praise this edition. I'm going to encourage everyone to buy it. It'll definitely enhance any physical media collector's shelf. But yeah, so all of the deep themes that are connected to that film are perfectly paired with the comedic aspects and the absurd aspects of the film. And I think that's what there is humor in Adam's book. But I think Eli Craig brings a little bit more humor and levity to the film. And yeah, there are some changes made in the film to the book. It's going to happen every single time. I'm of the belief that these are two separate entities that can coexist in the same world. One can't destroy the other, in my opinion. But I will say that watching Clown in a Cornfield that's a tongue twister. Watching Clown in a Cornfield in a crowded theater was an awesome experience. It was and it's what it's how horror movies should be experienced, because it's a communal event. So now that I have this super cool special edition and I can listen to the commentary and see it in 4K and really give it a rewatch and maybe pick up on things that I didn't notice the first time around, like Adam Caesar's cameo. I didn't even know he had that in there until it was pointed out. So yeah, I'm eager to check that out. I highly recommend you all check out his books, the movie, and now it's that portion of the podcast where I will randomly draw one of my classic top 52 horror movie scratch off cards and just talk about whatever film it is. If I've seen it, I can offer insight. I guarantee I've heard about it. Oh, shit. Normally I hold it up and try to guess what it is, but I already jumped the gun and started scratching. And I am so happy that they included this because some people to this day still do not say that this is a horror movie. And 1991's Academy Award-winning film is definitely a horror movie. The Silence of the Lambs. Psychological horror, people. It is a psychological horror film. Now, why is Silence of the Lambs a horror film? And a movie like Michael Mann's Manhunter, which also features Hannibal Lecter, why is that not a horror? Why is that a police procedural thriller? It's the tone and the mood of The Silence of the Lambs that makes it a horror film. It's Anthony Hopkins' performance. It's Buffalo Bill. It's the way it's shot. It has all of the genre tropes, but it's just elevated by a brilliant director based on an equally brilliant novel by Thomas Harris. So yeah, Silence of the Lambs. That's cool that we got a movie today that was adapted by an awesome book, and I talked about a movie that was adapted by an awesome book, or from an awesome book. Nice little pairing. So like it when that happens. So I will be back next week, hopefully with a review on the final Conjuring movie, because despite the fact that I did a lead up to the Conjuring, The Last Rites last week, I didn't get to see it this weekend because I was at Universal with my family. So I'm going to try to sneak out during the night sometime this week and catch the newest, supposedly the last Conjuring film. And you might get a review from me on that next week. So until then, it's not what you're watching, it's what's watching you.